They did it. The crazy motherfuckers did it. Rick and Morty followed up an iconic 4-year-old episode in the best way possible, delivering on Evil Morty's next big move, Rick's true backstory, and an insane revelation that changes the status quo of the series as we know it. However, in the aftermath of Rickmurai Jack, these titles just get goofier. Many viewers are leaning towards the notion that this episode served a specific purpose, that the writers gave the show a reason to wash its hands clean of any overarching stories and have fans shut up about Evil Morty once and for all, writing him out of the show. And I would have to disagree with that for a multitude of reasons. One, while serialization isn't the primary focus of Rick and Morty, the last 3 seasons have made that abundantly clear. These seasons have also reinforced that continuity does matter in Rick and Morty. They just prefer to touch on the big plot points here and there, rather than going full anime and advancing the narrative every episode. As they said in the season premiere of season 4, they're going to do a little bit of episodic stuff and a little bit of deepest lore. Hell, that statement was thrown back in Rick's face throughout this 2-part season finale. In a way, the balancing act of established canon and one-off shenanigans has become the story of Rick and Morty in itself. So yeah, while I do believe that this episode did have Evil Morty step down as the main antagonist of the series, or at least inform the viewer that wasn't the case, there's no way we're just never gonna see him again. In fact, Evil Morty's big move in the final moments of this season opened the door for so much more to happen in the series, and I doubt said stuff would happen without us ever seeing the eye patch goober again. Let's talk about what awaits in Rick and Morty's future, and how Evil Morty may actually find himself ensnared in his own multiverse of madness. Now, one thing we need to keep in mind is that Rick and Morty still has 50 episodes left in its run, at least from the initial 70 episode order Adult Swim picked up back in 2018 or so. Because of this factor, Rickmurai Jack should absolutely be viewed as the halfway point for the series, and its narrative very much supports this. We finally know what the Central Finite Curve is after the occasional name drops in season 1.
Of all the Ricks in the Central Finite Curve, you're the malcontent.
It's a defined arrangement of infinite universes where Rick Sanchez is the smartest being alive, isolated from the rest of the multiverse. Evil Morty was simply a Morty who grew tired of Rick's shit, resenting the infinite number of Sanchez's, and their vile manipulation to ensure Mortys are in a never-ending supply. And in breaking the Central Finite Curve, he has granted himself liberation from the Rick's iron grip, signified through the gold portal that he leaps through at the end of the episode. The color of Morty's shirt. This episode does also pass the baton, as we now have a new overarching threat to fixate on for years to come. Again, I doubt we've seen the last Evil Morty, not with 50 more episodes left, but this episode definitely shifted who we should look at as the big bad of the series. Whether or not he truly is the big bad, or carrying out someone else's dirty work. The man responsible for the murder of our Ricks, Beth and Diane. Killer Rick. Or Catalyst Rick? Douchey Haircut Rick? You know what, I'm just gonna stick with Killer Rick. For now. Might change that in the next video. This Rick is what drove our Rick to go on a murder spree. Oh so desperately trying to find the culprit to no avail, resulting in the formation of the Citadel as a peace offering. All of these plot points being thrown at us at the halfway point of the series is far from the show hitting the reset button or washing its hands clean of continuity. If anything, this has fundamentally changed Rick and Morty, and the big picture now resides in Evil Morty's adventures in the multiverse. Evil Morty may have escaped a finite curve where Rick has control, but in return, the other universes where Rick isn't the smartest being around will invite greater threats that will not only outshine Rick in intelligence, but also in mercilessness. And the kicker for Evil Morty is that these threats could be variants of his own family. Something I now find extremely interesting is a recent interview the outlet Inverse conducted with Summer's voice actress, Spencer Grammer, with the headlining hypothetical that now seems to be right on the money for where the show could head: Evil Summer. And while it is far from direct confirmation, it should pique your interest a bit following the season finale. Roll the clip.
Are we ever going to get an Evil Summer? And what do you think the Evil Summer variant would be like?
Ooh, the Evil Summer Delta variant. She's great. She's gonna be awesome. But no, I think Evil Summer is probably the most Rick possibly she can be. You know, that's sort of, I think she really takes after him. I think the female people in the family take after Rick, you know, a lot. And I think that that's sort of where Summer's intelligence lies. So it would be, you know, very how to beat out Rick's mind in the way. I think that's kind of what Evil Summer would be. But I can't there isn't like an Evil Summer, you know. I don't think, you know.
Rick and Morty now seems to be comfortable switching between overarching plot points each season to pad out its large episode order. Season 4's finale focused on the Clone Beth mystery. Season 5's finale focused on Evil Morty. So I think it's reasonable that Season 6 could switch gears back to Space Beth, while Season 7 revisits Evil Morty and Killer Rick. Though I'd love they touch on either of that sooner. However, given that Season 4 and 5 also explored changes in character dynamics from previous season finales, namely Rick's interactions with the family and their dwindling respect, alongside touching on Bird Person a lot sooner than I expected, I wouldn't completely rule out a few elements from this season finale coming back into play sooner than we expected. Don't be surprised if Season 6 starts to introduce characters bleeding in from the true multiverse. Other characters smarter than Rick, at least in their own universe, challenging him and giving him a run for his money. But I think it's only a matter of time until the other side of the multiverse sees Evil Morty struggling to survive in a universe, as even if he no longer has to incur Rick's wrath, he will still deal with horrors he never thought he'd see. Imagine if we got to see a universe where Jerry is the smartest around. That's absolutely on the table now. Imagine a competent Jerry, mad with power, and living it up as an all-knowing douchebag. Imagine a Beth who has greater mommy issues than daddy issues, who took after Rick much sooner, and is much more of a wild card as a result. We've experienced universes where Rick was the top dog in charge, but now, over the second half of this series, and over the next 5 or so years, as likely as it is that we'll meet new characters who outshine Rick in their respective universes, I think the heavy hitters will all be spins on the Smith family that have their own agendas. As for how Evil Morty would cross paths with our Rick and Morty again, I have a few ideas. For starters, Rick and Morty does follow up on the consequences from major game-changing episodes. The constant evolution of the Citadel and the new Galactic Federation are proof enough of that. With the tear in the multiverse open, there's no way Rick and Morty will be the only ones who catch wind of what's going down. I think it's very likely that the new Galactic Federation could attempt to investigate these new universes, which in turn will attract the attention of Space Beth and the Defiance. Moreover, I think what awaits on the other side of the multiverse will be the person Rick's been searching for all these years, Killer Rick. He was never able to find him because he was never from a universe where he was the smartest Rick, and thus always existed outside the Central Finite Curve. But that's not to say this Rick isn't a force to be reckoned with, should this be the case. And if Evil Morty did all this work just to cross paths with a Rick who knows more than he lets on, and likely needed to carry out some master plan, a Rick who's still up his own ass and is still an insane menace, I think Evil Morty will be driven to the brink of insanity, either doubling down as an antagonist, wanting to conquer the entire multiverse, or waving the white flag and turning to our Rick and Morty for help, as he knows they're the most capable. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll see Evil Morty, it'll be some epic team up of Rick, Morty, and Space Beth to capture Killer Rick, as they'd all have a common goal in taking him out. Or perhaps a sprint to see who can kill him first. Maybe Evil Morty won't even be bothered, and ends up being the golfing Morty we saw in the Season 5 opening. The multiverse sky is the limit, people. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? What variants of the Smith family would you like to see within the multiverse? Do you think we've seen the last of Evil Morty? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts over at Roundtable Vids. And you can find me at OffStrickVox. We're also on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more Rick and Morty content. Thanks for watching. See ya!